Most people think debt is the enemy of wealth. They're wrong. Debt, used correctly, is actually one of the most powerful capital accumulation tools ever created. And the people who figured this out? They didn't wait until they were debt-free to start building wealth. They used the exact moment they were in debt as the launching pad. I'm going to show you the strategy. Stick with me, because if you're carrying debt right now, this video could completely change how you see your financial situation. Here's what almost everyone does when they have debt. They look at their paycheck, they look at their debt balance. They say, I need to throw every dollar at this until it's gone. And then, only then, they'll start investing, saving, building. That logic feels responsible. It feels like the right thing to do. Dave Ramsey built an entire empire on that idea. But here's what that strategy actually costs you. Let's say you're 28 years old. You have $18,000 in student loans at 6% interest. You go scorched earth. No investing, no saving, everything into that debt. You pay it off in 3 years. Great. Debt's gone. Now you start investing at 31. Meanwhile, your friend, same age, same debt, does something different. They pay the minimum on that 6% loan, and every extra dollar goes into an index fund averaging 10% annually. By the time you both hit 60, your friend has significantly more money, sometimes by 6 figures or more, simply because of the time difference in the market. Why? Because the spread between their debt interest rate and their investment return rate was positive, and they let compounding do the heavy lifting. This is the foundation of the strategy. It has a name: arbitrage. Debt arbitrage is not complicated. I'll give it to you in one sentence. You borrow money at a lower rate than the return you generate by deploying that money. Banks do this every single day. They borrow your money at 0.5% in a savings account and lend it out at 7, 8, 9% in mortgages and car loans. The spread is their profit. That spread is the arbitrage. You can do the exact same thing. You just have to be intentional about it. Here's how it works for someone carrying debt. Step 1, categorize your debt by interest rate. Not by balance, not by lender, by rate. You're going to split everything into 2 buckets. Bucket A, high-cost debt. Anything above 7 to 8%. Credit cards, personal loans, predatory installment loans. This debt is a liability. The return you'd need to beat it in the market is too risky to count on consistently. This debt gets paid aggressively. Bucket B, low-cost debt. Anything below 6 to 7%. Student loans, mortgages, some car loans. This debt has a manageable interest rate. And this is where the arbitrage lives. You pay the minimum. You redirect the rest. This is the sorting mechanism. This is where most people get it wrong. They treat all debt as the same enemy. It's not. Interest rate is the only thing that matters in this equation. All right, let's get into the mechanics. Here's how you actually execute this. Step 1. Build your $1,000 to $2,000 starter emergency fund first. I know that sounds contradictory, but here's why. If you have 0 cash buffer and your car breaks down, you put $800 on a credit card at 24%. You just wiped out months of progress in one afternoon. The buffer is insurance. Build it fast, then move on. Step 2. Obliterate your high-cost debt using the avalanche method. List everything above 7 to 8% interest. Attack the highest rate first while making minimums everywhere else. Not the biggest balance, the highest rate. The math is clear. The avalanche method saves you more money than the snowball, full stop. The snowball is for motivation. The avalanche is for math. Step 3. Once high-cost debt is gone, do not redirect that payment money to lifestyle. This is the critical moment. This is where most people blow it. The $400 a month you were throwing at that credit card, it does not become a bigger car payment. It does not become a streaming upgrade. It gets immediately split. Some to your low-cost debt minimums, the rest to your investment accounts. Step 4. Automate your investments in parallel with your low-cost debt. If you have a 4.5% student loan and a 401k with an employer match, you invest first up to the match, every time. The match is a 50% or 100% instant return on your money. No debt in America costs more than that. Take the match, always. Step 5. As income grows, increase investment contributions before increasing debt payments. This is counterintuitive but mathematically sound. If your low-cost debt is at 5% and your investment account is averaging 9 to 10%, every extra dollar is worth more in the market than against the debt. Now, I have to be real with you about something. This strategy requires something that most financial advice ignores completely: emotional tolerance for complexity. When you see a $22,000 loan balance sitting there, there's a primal pull to just kill it, to pay it off and feel free. I understand that. That feeling is real and it's valid. But the wealthy don't make financial decisions based on what feels cleanest. They make them based on what works best mathematically over time. Here's a reframe that helped me and that I've seen help a lot of people. Your low-interest debt? Stop thinking of it as a burden. Start thinking of it as leverage. Someone gave you capital at 4 or 5% so you could deploy it at 10%. That's not a problem. That's an opportunity. The goal isn't to be debt-free. The goal is to be wealthy. Those are not the same thing. Some of the wealthiest people in the world carry debt strategically their entire lives. What they don't carry is high-cost debt. That distinction is everything. Let me make this concrete with a quick example. Meet Sarah, 30 years old. She has $15,000 in credit card debt at 22%, $25,000 in student loans at 5.2%. She earns $60,000 a year and has $600 per month available after essential expenses. Wrong approach. Throw all $600 at the student loans because they're the biggest balance. Right approach? First, she builds her $1,500 emergency buffer, 1 month of focused effort. Then she throws $500 per month at the credit card, gone in about 30 months. During those 30 months, she puts $100 per month into her 401k, just enough to capture her employer's 3% match. That's a 100% return on that money instantly. She does not skip this step. Once the credit card is gone, she now has $600 per month free. She keeps paying the $200 minimum on the student loan. She sends $400 per month into index funds. By 40, her student loan is paid off on schedule. Her investment portfolio, already 6 figures and compounding. Compare that to if she had attacked everything sequentially. Debt first, then invest. She'd be years behind in the market with a much smaller portfolio base. The numbers don't lie. I want to be straight with you. This strategy has limits. It does not work if you can't stop adding to your high-cost debt. If your credit card balance keeps growing while you invest, you're not arbitraging. You're just losing money with extra steps. It does not work if you have no behavioral guardrails. You have to actually invest the money, not spend it. And it does not work if your income is so constrained that you have no margin at all. In that case, your first job is income growth, not strategy optimization. Be honest with yourself about which situation you're in. Here's the bottom line. Debt is not a moral failing. It's a financial condition. And like any condition, it responds to the right treatment. The strategy is simple. Eliminate high-cost debt aggressively, treat low-cost debt as leverage, invest in parallel the moment you have an employer match, and never let your debt payoff timeline also become your wealth-building delay. Time in the market is the most valuable asset you have. Debt, if it's low cost, is not a reason to pause building. If this gave you a new way to look at your situation, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop your questions below. I read them, and I'll see you in the next one.